So you want to be a registered dietitian? You are in the right place. My name is Jenny Westerkamp, founder of All Access Dietetics, and your host for Dear Future Dietitian, a podcast dedicated to helping you feel more confident in every step of your journey towards that RD credential. Thank you for being here and taking the time to listen to this episode and investing in yourself and your future career. I can already tell you're going to be a rockstar dietitian. Now let's get into it. Welcome to the show. This is Jenny, and I'm going to talk today about how to prepare for the RD exam when you are in your internship program or in your graduate program, you're doing your rotations, your coursework, whatever it is. I want to give you some strategies for how you can implement RD exam studying into all of that without stressing yourself out, because I know you have a lot on your plate. When I was talking to program directors, I talked to them a lot. I've talked to, at least 100 of them at this point. These are DI, dietetic internship directors, or graduate program directors, or MSDI directors. And when I was talking to them, I learned a lot about even the structure of their programs and how they make sure that everyone gets the right curriculum and then gets the experiences that can hopefully prepare them for that RD exam. But there are a lot of limitations to that. And so having this RD exam prep becomes pretty much a necessity for many programs because, that's just things out of their control that cause you to maybe not have as many experiences in certain areas that you would need to in order to know those details for the RD exam, which is fine. And that's okay. Like that, I don't think it will ever be perfect from that sense. But yeah, in a most utopian ideal world, we wouldn't need something like Pass Class or RD exam prep to pass the exam, but we do. So here we go. Now, going back to the RD exam is 1/3 knowledge, 2/3 application questions. And that's confirmed by CDR, that the creators of the exam. So we know that the knowledge is important, but the application is twice as important to know. When you're learning, it really helps to have the knowledge foundation first and then go and do it. And then by doing it, you've really solidified your understanding of the concepts and you have both the knowledge and the critical thinking in that area and that topic. When you're thinking about studying for the RD exam, the way we set up Pass Class is so that you have one phase of knowledge and then the majority of the rest of your studying is on the application. And that's how it's set up. That's part of the Study Smarter method that we teach. And that concept is playing into that around having the foundational knowledge and then building on top of that to have the critical thinking skills that go along with it. And now you're set, you understand it to that level that you will be able to narrow down your answers and choose the best right answer for the RD exam and for those really tricky application questions. So if we go back to, your training in your internship rotations or your supervised experiential learning rotations, that it should be where you're solidifying your critical thinking. But you can do that even better if you set up a better knowledge foundation. Now, sometimes programs are just structured differently. Like you might do coursework in one semester and then rotations in another semester, or even if you had classes and rotations at the same time, maybe they weren't over the same topic. I know with these coordinated, the new graduate programs in nutrition and dietetics, that future education model actually does a better job of this. This is a newer model where they're trying to integrate it more closely so that the knowing part, the knowledge part, is happening closer to the doing part, right? And I'm saying this very generally, so there's all different program designs out there, but this is kind of like how it's working. So let's take it back to the RD exam. If you were to be able to learn something and have that knowledge foundation and then go do it, you would learn it better. But in your programs, this might not be the case. However, you can help yourself out by giving yourself that knowledge foundation before you go into your rotations, which sometimes might not be there. I know some programs maybe have like modules that you do before rotations, but not all of them. And maybe it's not that in depth. So instead, if you can give yourself that knowledge foundation and then go do it in real life with your rotations, you will have better understood the information because you had a knowledge foundation to build on. So hopefully this makes sense. Now, how could this actually play out? Well, we've been working with programs who use past class strategically in this way that I'm talking about in order to better prepare their interns for the RD exam at the end of the program, or, a couple months after the program, or whatever the timeline is. So what they'll do is they will get past class, which is our complete RD exam program. That program has 3 components. It has the study guide called Pass the Exam Prep, and that comes with practice questions, worksheets. It's a very complete, cohesive study guide. And then it has review session recordings, and then it has a community, a past class community that's led by our tutor. But what they'll do, and that I think is really genius, is they will assign Pass the Exam Prep study guides before the specific rotations that they're going through. And even assigning a review session recording video before that rotation. So then that means it's like you're studying for the RD exam, but you're not. You're really studying for your rotations. And then you're doing those topics in real life, let's say like food service management, then you're doing it. And by giving yourself that knowledge foundation, then you go do that food service and you understand everything better because you're not trying to relearn and understand on your rotation. You're just understanding, you're just applying the information. And I think that's really strategic and a very cool way that you can use past class during your rotations as rotation prep. And then you can actually do your rotations and solidify those concepts in your mind. And then at the end of the program, when you're ready to really dive into your exam prep, you're just in such a better space. You've made a lot of connections in your brain. You have a better understanding, more confidence around the material going into that studying than if you were sort of building on a very weak foundation, trying to keep up with everything you're learning and trying to understand with your rotations. It's just hard for the brain to learn that way if it doesn't have that those connections and that foundation. I know this is a super short episode, but I hope that this helps you because we get a lot of questions like, how should I study for the RD exam, like before or like during my program? Use the study guides as rotation prep. And then even the videos can be used as rotation prep. If you don't want to start your access, you get 12-week access to the videos. So if you don't want to start your access, then you can just hold off on the videos and wait until you're ready to really dive into studying. Or you can start your access, have access during your program, and then you can buy an extension of time with the review sessions if you want to add those back in when you're ready to study. But that is how I would integrate it. And that's how programs are integrating it as we speak and doing that so that they feel like they can prepare their students better and connect the learning with the doing. And that is really, really powerful. So hopefully this helps. And then, if you're interested in past class, just go to our website, or I put the link in the show notes for getting there. And that will be your tool that you can get at any point in your program, use for rotation prep, and then feel much more confident as you go to start studying at the end of your program. As I said, there's a lot of different ways to pass the exam. I have another podcast episode on how to pass the exam on your first try, which I definitely would suggest you listen to. But just know that if this is something where it's stressing you out, thinking like, oh, I have to study for the exam on top of doing all these rotations and projects and things, just even using past class as a reference tool for things that are confusing to you or that you need refresher on is the other way you can do it without it being super overwhelming. And, that's at least something because it's clear that you don't have like the knowledge foundation for it. So you want to address that weakness before you go in and do it in your rotations. That's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this quick kind of like Q&A because we were getting this question a lot on how to prepare in your internship or your program. And I hope this helped answer it. If you have any other questions, DM us, email us, or check out Past Class, like I said, and you can chat in on the web chat if you have any questions there. All right. I'll talk to you guys next week. Thank you for listening to this episode of Dear Future Dietitian. I hope you got a lot out of it, and I also hope that you take action based on what you learned today. Now, if you have any questions at all, please reach out to us through our website, allaccessdietetics.com, or DM us on Instagram or TikTok. We are here to help you become a more confident registered dietitian to be and make this journey way less stressful for you. So reach out, don't be a stranger, and we hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day.